All right, guys, happy Monday. Today we're going to go ahead and stay with the basics on the Monday calls, and we're going to go ahead and look at some opportunities that the students have. I believe this is Michael's, and he's looking at USD JPY. He's looking at some buy to sell action, and I do like the structure, to be honest. Let me go ahead and grab my annotate. I do like the structure. We can see that, market gave us a lot of consolidation, and then we ended up having a break of structure to the downside, right? More consolidation, and we had another break of structure to the downside. And then the market gave us that BOS and then continued to shift. And now we're just ranging in this area. And that's what I like to see. Once we're able to get a break of structure to the downside and a change of direction to the upside, and we end up holding this level, just moving sideways, right? If we can actually get this buy opportunity down here, these would be one of my first targets. I know he wants to hold till we get up here, but if we can actually, I mean, this looks like a pretty good risk to reward if I was looking to enter here with my stop loss at this low. This for sure looks like a 1 to 2.5, 1 to 3 minimum. So that would be good for me, right? But if you're obviously looking to hold until it gets up here, make sure you guys do your partials, have your good money management, and see if we can get some reactions off of this area here. But I do like what you're seeing, Mike, for sure. The only thing is the yens have been fairly bearish, and they've been in consolidation on higher time frames. So make sure you take that with a grain of salt. But I do like the structure that you're looking at here. So yeah, I like that. Good stuff, bro. Let's go ahead. I believe I'm just gonna keep this open. Josue with the peso. That's right, my boy.
Yeah.
2 hour time frame. I do like this structure as well.
Yeah.
I do like this structure. Obviously, this if we were looking for the reversal, right? If we were
Mhm.
looking for buys, this is exactly what I would have wanted to see. So we can go
Right.
ahead and see if we can get that reversal to the upside. The only thing is the dollar has
So
been very, very bearish, and obviously this is USD first before
yeah.
MXN. So if the dollar is going to be bearish,
Right.
then USD MXN is going to be bearish as well.
Yeah.
And if you ended up getting clapped here, I mean, it is what it is. But
Mhm.
then the market gave you clarity, right?
Yeah.
This right here would definitely be my BOS to the upside, and then this would be my change of character to the downside. Now, again,
Yeah.
guys, when we're looking for bearish opportunities, when the market is in a downtrend, right? When the market is in a downtrend, sometimes structure won't always be very, very clear, but we want to go ahead and look for this pattern here. Break a structure to the upside with the change of direction to the downside, so we can go ahead and see if we can continue with that bearish momentum. So obviously this is a very, very funky market structure, but it ended up giving us everything that we needed to see. It just took time and possibly took a loss here, right? We have a break of structure to the upside, and then we continued to get that break of structure, or I'm sorry, the change of direction to the downside, and we end up building liquidity here, right? There is money on top of that line, dollar signs, dollar signs, dollar signs. So I do like this structure here. Now again, this is the 2 hour time frame. So I mean, I wouldn't mind going up to the 4 hour time frame because there's probably something, up here in this area that he has highlighted that would probably be just as good too. But if the live price is right here right now, this is the closest sell zone, the closest opportunity sell zone, where live market is. So, we have to take these opportunities as they come and then know how to react when the market conditions change. But I do like that. Good stuff, Josue. Because they're not always going to look pretty. I mean, I got to be honest with you, especially with USD MXN. It's a pair that nobody, it's not a popular trading instrument. So sometimes the structure ain't always 100. You know what I'm saying? It kind of looks funky. I ain't gonna lie. We have EURNZD. Let's see, EURNZD. Let's go to levels. You guys can still see my screen, right? You guys can see levels.
Yeah, you're up, bro.
Yeah. All right. Cool. Yeah. Okay. Cool. EURNZD. Let's see. I'm tripping out. I think it's in other. EURNZD. Yeah. All right, cool. You were looking for some buys. Okay, he was looking for buys. But the thing is, what I saw on this side is I see that the market is actually giving us some downward momentum, right? And this isn't like the cleanest structure here. and that kind of looked like liquidity to me. So I wanted to make sure we can go ahead and have that unlocked. So let's go ahead. We're right here on EURNZD. Now this was all I was able to see, right, in that picture he sent me. But now that we are on a higher time frame, let's go to the daily time frame. We're actually, matter of fact, guys, what is this? Is this bullish or bearish? If we're looking at EURNZD, what would this be considered?
Bullish.
Uptrend or downtrend?
It-
Yo, I need my water.
It's an uptrend, bro.
Sorry, guys. Y'all know me. Uptrend, right? So, with that being said, we have to find the closest buy opportunity. Now, we can just run it right here, right? On a higher time frame, we can see we have a breaker structure here. Now, guys, use levels, bro. I was messing around with levels today. Guys, use levels. The breaker structure boxes. If you press this, it's going to highlight all your breaks of structures, all your change of characters. It's going to find your head, and it's going to find your starting points, right? So if we press BOS, notice how level is literally telling you, yo, break a structure to the upside. Now look at this. Look at this. It's saying we have a breaker structure here, right? Obviously, we can identify one more. But what does it say right here, guys? What does this say? It says head. So if we're looking at this and we know this is a breaker structure, where would my change of character line be, guys? If we're looking at this setup specifically, where would our change of character line be? We know this is my BOS. This is if you're very advanced. Yes, I would agree, right? BOS here, change of direction line here. But let's just focus on this structure that Levels is giving us, right? Let's focus on this. We have lower low, lower high, lower low. Where would my change of character line be? Yes, my change of character line would be right here. Notice how we change character and we never come back to this zone. Whether you're looking at that one or you're a bit more advanced, you're looking at it right here. Either way, we haven't gotten back to that zone yet. So guys, do not ignore levels and the tools that we have, because whenever the market wants to come back down here, I don't know when, but I would look to see if we can go ahead and continue this uptrend, right? Obviously, this is supposed to react there, but you know what I'm talking about, right? So keep that in mind. Each zone you guys see on higher time frames, you leave them there and you set an alert. Right now, look, levels is letting me know, hey, we have a breaker structure here. We should go ahead and identify that, right? Levels is saying, well, let's stick right here, right? Levels is saying we have a breaker structure. Guys, we have blue arrows. When we have the blue arrows, what should we be doing next? I need y'all to unmute. If we have blue arrows, what should we be doing next?
Hitting the bulls button.
Press the bulls button. Levels is saying, hey, we have a demand zone down here. So let's go ahead and highlight that. Boom. Save it for later. I don't know when the market's going to come back down that low, but when it does, I already know why the market is going to be downtrending. If the market chooses to downtrend, I already know why and where the market is going to be headed, because we've been waiting on this zone for some time now. Does that make sense? If the market can go ahead and give us what we need to see, break a structure, once the market gives us this change of character, we can start looking for some more buy opportunities. Give me a 2 if that makes sense. Guys, use the tools. I promise y'all. And especially with the new update that Levels is going to have, guys, it's going to be legit. Like, I'm excited for it. Notice what Levels is saying right here. We have a break of structure to the upside, right? Let's go ahead and turn these off. Guys, we have a blue arrow right here. What should I be doing if I see this blue arrow? Bulls, press the bulls. Match this blue arrow with this blue button. And if I press bulls, you're going to see we have a demand zone, a starting point right there. So I'm going to go ahead and just highlight this. So we already know this was the closest buy opportunity to where where live market was, right? Live market, and let's just pretend none of this happened here, right? We have the break of structure. Guys, live price was right here. We just had to wait for the market to come back to our buy zone. Now, we're on the daily time frame, right? We're on the daily time frame. If we know that we're looking for some possible buy opportunities, guys, what should we be doing as the market is dropping down to my buy zone? What should we be doing? Anybody know? I know we have some bets. We should be setting alerts, yes. We should set alerts, right? We should have definitely had an alert right here. So when the market came by, right, came to my buy zone, boom, we got notified so we can get onto the computer and make the proper decisions. But what else should we be doing, guys? That's a great, you know, that you are
Test
right.
trade.
You're not wrong, but there's something else that I'm looking for. Waiting for the inverted play, take a test. Those are both right as well, right? We should be taking test trades and we should be waiting for the inverted play. Now, the inverted play is what I'm really looking for, right? But as the market, as we're looking for these buy opportunities, right? As we're looking for these buy opportunities, and we know we should be looking in this area for some buys, as the market is dropping lower, creating structure, what should we be doing every time it breaks structure to the downside?
Moving our change of character line.
We have to have our break of structures, right? And our change of character lines. And we continue to adjust as the market continues to break structure. Let's continue to adjust. I know before I used to have you guys just completely, you know, copy and paste. Let's just continue to adjust so our charts are clean, right? Market consolidates, gives me a BOS. Okay, cool. Let's continue to adjust. That way we can be accurate. Now, obviously, we should be looking to test trade the zone, right? So let's just say as soon as the market came into the zone, we're already test trading these buys, right? We have our break of structure line and we have our change of character line. Once we get this change of character confirmation, should we be looking for some more buy opportunities or some sell opportunities? More buy opportunities, right? If we can get this change of character, that tells us that we were correct on this buy zone here. That tells us we were right. Right now, if we can go ahead and shift the market up, we can go ahead and possibly look for some new opportunities. So when the market comes back, we can go ahead and shift that market up. Right? That's what we should be doing. Now, in this area, look at this, guys. Would you consider this a BOS to the downside? Would you consider that a BOS? Yes. So mark that up. That's a bearish BOS. So I'm gonna mark that up as a bearish BOS. Now I know that we have a bullish BOS. So on the left-hand side, I already know I should be looking for buys. Now on this right-hand side, I'm looking for these sellers to get clapped, right? I know long-term, the market is continuing to break structure to the upsides. I want to catch more buys. We have a break of structure, consolidation, break of structure to the downside. So let's go ahead and continue to move our lines, right? This doesn't look like a full-on BOS. Actually, let me see. Very slight BOS, but that can also be considered a liquidity sweep. So now look, we need change of direction for buy opportunity. So now this is the higher time frame play, guys, right? If you missed the buys here, if you missed these entries, it is what it is. We can possibly drop down to a lower time frame to see if we can get in a bit lower. But if we missed it and the market doesn't give us no opportunities in here, what do we have to wait for, guys? We have to wait for the market to change character. Left shoulder, neckline, head, change of direction. Once we have this change of direction, we can now look for some more buy opportunities and shift that market up. Does that make sense, guys? Give me a 2 if that makes sense. Now I'm keeping it very, very simple on these higher time frames. Now let's drop down to the lower time frame. Let's go to the 4 hour. Let's turn this stuff off. So now look, let's just move this out the way real quick, right? Now let's turn on the BOSs. Notice, guys, levels is doing this for you. If you're seeing the BOS and you see a red arrow, guys, match that up. Match this up. Match this up. Boom. I will be waiting for that change of character to happen there. Now, does this make sense? Give me a question mark if this doesn't make sense. And if you're like completely new, like this is your first week, obviously this is not going to make sense to you. But if this is making sense, man, give me a 9. And if you're trading NZD, EURNZD, I mean, you're just not gonna have like the cleanest structure, you know. But let's drop down to that 1 hour. Right, let's turn this off so we can have some clarity. Now, check me out, guys. I see red arrows, and I can easily see the market just took this low, right? Let's press the BOS. Market is letting me know, hey, we have a breakage structure to the upside. Now, if I was using this, I'm gonna turn this off for clarity. If this is my lower low, and this is my lower high, and then from here, from this high, we make this low, I would be focused on this change of character line. Now, if you're obviously more advanced and you can see the structure that, you know, has happened inside of here, then you can go ahead and use it as well. But for me, if you can get both the inside structure and the external structure, I like that, right? And I also like when it's a peak, when the heads are like this, left shoulder, you know, break below, and we have equal lows, and then we change character to the upside. I'm not liking this type of head and shoulder. I like when there's a clean peak, a clean spike, whether it's one count or, you know, break a structure, clean spike, and then we're gone. I like those. So I wouldn't mind, right? He has this entry, he has the inside zone, he has this lit up, which obviously counts, but I also like this as my shoulder as well. Why? Because, well, one, let's just take a look at this, right? Let's try to make this as clear as possible, because I know there's a lot going on right here. What does this say right here, guys? What does that say inside of that? Y'all can unmute. It's okay.
BOS.
It says
Breakage structure.
BOS,
Breakage
right?
structure.
And if I'm looking at the BOS, right? The BOS, the very last breakage structure, which is this one right here, the very last breakage structure before my change of character, and my change of character happened right here, right, is my left shoulder. Now notice, what does this say right here, guys? What does this say right here?
Head.
Yes, Zoom
Head.
user, that would be sweeping liquidity. What does that say, guys?
Head.
The head. So if that's my head, and this is the very last BOS before my change of character, I would like to use this as my left shoulder. Now, obviously, that goes hand in hand with Josue's. But that would
That's
go hand
great.
in hand. My bad, bro. I was just with Jose today. You're my dog, bro. Don't even do me like that. You about to make me, you know what I mean? Ah, my bad, bro. But I would be looking for. This is, in my opinion, this is a very nice risk to reward. Stop loss at this low. And like I said, if we can hold this zone, that's already a 1 to 4.5. So if the market can hold this consolidation and end up, you know, making its way back down, guys, I would like to see if we can take profit there. Minimum, right? Obviously, make sure you partial out at 1 to 2s and your break even around 1 to 1s, right? But I would not mind seeing if we can continue with this, because then it just falls in order, right? Everything's just gonna fall in line. Now, If the market doesn't, since we know that this right here is my higher time frame play, this is my daily play, left shoulder, change of character, head. If the market just tends to just make its way up and doesn't come back right away, that's a good thing. They're gonna hold this zone and save this zone for later. What they want you to think is, oh, the market's already bullish. The market's already bullish, right? Because we're focused on this. Most people are focused on this. So you're thinking, right? The retail trader is thinking the market's already bullish, and it has been in bullishness. But when you're least expecting it, when news comes, this is what's going to happen. Sweep, market's going to start tanking, and then everybody who was thinking bullishness, they're going to start thinking bearishness, and out of nowhere, they might catch a couple plays, but in the long run, we know that we're waiting right here to shift this market back up. So if this ends up happening and the market continues to go higher, right, I would not mind seeing if we can actually hold this swing here. But obviously, it has to play out like this. But if we can get this and the market starts to make that U-turn and come back for us, that would be even better. So once the market comes back, we can take that test trade, take that confirmation, and hold it to here. Does that make sense, guys? I do like this setup. It's cooking up very, very slowly, crock pot style cooking, right? Super slow cooking, my boy, on the smoker type. You know what I'm talking about? But those are the best type of plays, in my opinion. When the market is cooking very, very slowly, guys, it wants you to make irrational decisions right away. It wants you to indulge inside of this. And I'm not saying you can't catch opportunities. You definitely can using, the same confirmations and risk reward and things like that. But at the end of the day, it wants you to play aggressive. It wants you to play aggressive. If you do play, wait for confirmations, right? I'm not saying you can't, but look at this. Did we not just get a sweep of liquidity here? Yes.
Yep. Yeah,
We're
we did.
looking for more buy opportunities. We would like to see the change of character, continue higher, hold this area, come back for us so we can possibly continue, right? If that's what you're playing on, oh my God, this was the nastiest. Oh, telling you, bro. Starting point, guys. I'm gonna go ahead and pull out the BOSs. Oh my gosh, this is higher time frame, right? We just went from the daily down to the 15. What does this say right here, guys? What does this say?
Head.
Head. But look, do we have a breakout rally right here, guys?
Absolutely.
Yes or no? Would you consider that
Yes,
a
sir.
breakout rally?
Yes.
Yes, right? Look, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 green candles. 10 green candles. So not only did we get the break of structure that it's letting us know, it's definitely identifying that for us. But what does this say right here, guys?
Change of direction.
Change of direction,
Sure.
which obviously that would be here. It is saying BOS, so it may come. I mean, you should think the same, right? If you know what you're looking at, you're gonna know. Now, what is this saying? Because we got the breakout rally with our change of direction, what does that say?
Starting point.
Starting point, bro. My head is the starting point. Let that sink in. These were good buys to continue that market up. Those were good. Same thing happened here. We have a break of structure to the downside. We're waiting for this change of direction. So if the market gives you BOS and then we get that change of direction, wouldn't that market structure look almost identical to this market structure? Yes, right?
Absolutely.
Yes, sir.
Now, if we can get the same thing to happen here, we may just have some continuations tomorrow. Not knowing, I don't know how this is going to look tomorrow, but if we can get something like this, guys, would not mind. I would not mind to see if we can continue that market higher. Right? So I'm not saying you can't, but if you're on the 15-minute time frame, this is all you're seeing, right? So you need to make sure you guys are jumping back to a higher time frame, like the 1 hour, like the 4 hour, like we just did, because if these get clapped here, we know where it's going to be headed next. Understand you can scalp, you can do your thing with the same strategy on lower time frames. But if this gets clapped and the market ends up going to the downside, you already know where you want to start participating again. Right here. So we can shift that market up. Does that make sense, guys? Give me a 2 if that makes sense. You always have to know where you're at in the market. Always have to know where you're at in the market. Don't just play just to play because you're on the 5 minute and you see opportunities. Okay, you found your opportunities on the 5 minute and on the 15. Now jump up to a higher time frame, zoom out, and see what the market is actually saying on the higher time frames. So we know how to react next. Because when you don't do that, guys, when you're just playing on a lower time frame and not looking at different things at different angles, that's when confusion comes in. That's when aggressive trading comes in. That's when revenge trading comes in. Things like that. So you always have to be a couple steps ahead. Now look at this, guys. What would you consider this? Let's just clean this up.
Liquidity.
Liquidity. Thank you, Michael. You're on today, bro. So I would like to see, right? It doesn't mean that the market may come down here, but sooner or later, I would like to see if the market can go ahead and sweep this liquidity. If the market makes its way down here, awesome. And if it doesn't, I'll be focused on this change of direction so we can go ahead and make that move to the upside. You should always be ready, guys. If we know that there's liquidity to be swept here, the market never has to push down as far as this. That's what we want, right? But if the market sweeps this liquidity, and we can also understand that the market broke structure to the downside and change direction here, guys, let's focus on our new setup. Let's focus on our new setup.
You also have a imbalance on the second candle of the breakout right there.
Right here?
Yeah, in those 3 candles right there, that second one, you have an imbalance in it.
Isn't there also a violation play? What are you talking about right here? So no? Okay, I'm gonna clean off my chart and then you can go ahead and annotate. Go ahead and annotate on my chart. And okay, yeah, that's exactly what Josue had. Yeah, that's what he was looking at. So you guys are locked in. We're all three of us are locked in, right? He was focused on this right here, and I had to zoom out and see the bigger picture, and I like this as well. This low or this high made this low. This low made this high. This high made this low. This low made new highs.
Okay.
Right.
It's because I
So
was also looking at what is it, this starting point right here?
yeah. Let's see. Which one? Yes, that is one. There also is one right here as well. But yeah, that is a starting point. That would be a starting point violation for sure. And look, notice how that liquidity that we're talking about is right above it. So that's what I'm saying, right? The market doesn't have to come to my zone. The market can definitely come to this starting point violation, right?
Mm.
Take this liquidity that we were just talking about, respect this zone. But if we can go ahead and get what we need to see right here, BOS, change of character, boom, let's start looking for some buys. Now, let's just say, because everybody's different, right?
Mm-hmm.
Let's just say you don't really trade off of violation of starting points, but you like to wait for the confirmations on them, right? Let's say you don't take this first buy because you want the confirmation, right? If you get this breakage structure to the downside, and you can see that we have a violation here, and we can see that the market is respecting, and we shot up and got this change of direction, guys, you guys cannot be afraid to take these opportunities. Take the opportunities. If we end up getting clapped here, what's the freshest zone on the market right now on this chart. This one has already been taken, right? We can't use this because this has already been taken now. And we can't use this one because this one has already been taken now. But let's say the market comes up, gives us profit. Where's our fresh zone? Thank you, Josue. We already know where the market is going to be headed. So if we end up, maybe 1 to 1, 1 to 2 break even, and we end up getting clapped, it happens. We know these zones are taken. Let's go ahead and see if we can participate on this fresh zone. Because in my opinion, guys, we always want to focus on the lower fresh zones. But sometimes the market never goes down that low. And it'll give us what we need to see in this area here. And then it just continues up higher. And I'll be damned, bruh. I'll be damned if I miss an opportunity because I want to wait for my zone down here. Because at the same time, it's like, if I'm just going to wait for these low zones, sometimes I won't be trading for like weeks if I do that shit. You know what I mean? Like, I got to take opportunities as they come, or else I will just be continue waiting for the perfect setup. And sometimes that takes months, so you always have to know what can happen next. If I know we have a liquidity sweep here coming, if we change character right after the liquidity sweep, I know the market wants to start moving, right? And if I end up getting clapped because I'm taking opportunities as they come, right? Let's say I take a buy here and I get clapped, right? Because I see the market structure shift, and I want to see if we can look for buys, but the market ends up selling. This is where we, use our risk to reward. What's the best risk to reward that we like to use in here, guys? That I always preach.
1 to 3.
1 to 3 risk to reward. Now, if we just took one loss, 1 to 3 risk to reward, right? We took one loss at 1%, we're down 1%. But let's just say I take this trade here with a 1 to 3, or maybe even a 1 to 4, because that's what the market is giving us, right? Let's say the market gives me the opportunity, boom, goes my way, and it shifts in my direction the way that we've been planning it, and I hit a 1 to 4 trade, guys, I'm up 1 to 3. I recoup my loss, and I'm above profit now. Does that make sense? We have to trust our risk to reward and trust our eyes when the market is giving us the structure shift, right? We have to trust our eyes. I don't want to I wasn't expecting to break it down like this, but sometimes it has to happen, We're not always going to be given the perfect setup. We always have to think in scenarios, right? Always think in scenarios. But I do like the buy, Josue. Now that we've confirmed everything, all the higher time frame biases and all that good stuff, I do like this. Yeah, send it in, Michael. Now let's see, I'm going up to, I think my boy, hey, y'all really sending them in, okay. Hold on. I thought I saw Juan send one in. Maybe not. BTC USD. I do like that. This was Anthony on BTC USD. Let's see. BTC USD. What time frame are you on? The 4 hour? Okay. Hold on. BTC USDT. Yeah, am I tripping? Is this not Bitcoin? BTC USDT. Oh, you're zoomed out, hella. Huh. Am I tripping?
I think that's like I had it like on the 1 minute, 3 minute.
You're in the minute?
Yeah.
Oh, you were on the minute. Huh. Okay. All right. So he's looking to take sells in this area, looks like. If I'm not mistaken. Let's go ahead and go back. All right, looks like he wants to see if we can take some sells. Now let's go up. He's on the 1 minute time frame, right? I'm not saying he's going to be wrong, but we also have to see what the higher time frames are telling us. Because on the 1 minute time frame, guys, This is all I am seeing right here. So we have to jump up a couple time frames and see what's really happening. So let's go to the 4-hour. Now the 4-hour time frame, let's go to the daily real quick. It looks like we might have gotten a structure shift. Now this is what I'm looking at, right? This is what I'm looking at. We have a BOS to the downside here. Oops. A BOS to the downside here, right? We have another BOS to the downside here. Now, this is a very slight BOS, but this would be my change of character line. Now, this is Bitcoin, right? This is the daily time frame. I'm not sure about you guys, but I've been waiting for some bullishness on Bitcoin for some time now. Now, this right here doesn't look like a pullback, but this is definitely a pullback. Higher high, higher low. We're expecting bullishness. If we go to the, I mean, it doesn't have a monthly time frame for some reason, but look at what this is looking like. Higher high, higher low. Let's go ahead and make some new highs. I don't know about you guys, but this is pretty exciting structure. I ain't gonna lie to you. Right? I ain't gonna lie to you. Right? Now look at this, guys. Would you consider this a breakout rally?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so on the weekly time frame, this is my starting point. That's pretty big. Let's drop down to daily. On the daily time frame, my starting point is right here. Now, my shoulder, that's different, right? My shoulder is going to be down here. Now, I don't know if the market will make it down here because of, you know, if it's ready, it might be ready. It might just take off. But at least I have some buy opportunities down here. Now, let's drop down to the 4-hour. I'm looking at, let me see, what is it saying? Okay, got you. So we have a break of structure right here, right? BOS to the upside. When I see a break of structure to the upside, what should I be thinking, guys?
Continuation.
Anybody know? Anybody want to guess? If I see a BOS, what should I be thinking? Well, a BOS to the upside, we should be looking for buys. Right, correct. But I should be thinking, anytime I see BOS, I should be thinking trend continuation. And if the trend has been going higher, yes, I should be looking for buys. Now, this right here, guys, is my starting point. If I have a blue arrow, I should match that with the blue bulls button. So let's go ahead. Boom. We're in that starting point, obviously. Now, if we focus on the starting point, we may just miss something else. So I'm going to turn this off. Notice the structure here, guys, right? This wouldn't be considered a BOS technically, but I would definitely look at that like a liquidity sweep. So again, in an uptrend, we look for inverteds, right? This is not the nicest inverted. Let's go to the 2-hour time frame, see if we can make this a bit cleaner. It looks like there was a starting point right here in the 1-hour. Let's go down. Look at that. Look at that. And that, oh, it doesn't even reach it on the 1-hour time frame. BOS happened here. Starting point was down here. Just misses it. On the 2-hour, there is none. I would be looking at that on the 1-hour for sure. But it missed it, right? And it happens. Sometimes we're going to be missed. But now let's go ahead and dissect one more time, right? If this is my liquidity sweep, I would be focused on this on the 1-hour time frame to be my change of direction line. But if this is my BOS and this is my head, my shoulder zone would be from this low wick to here, right? My stop loss at this low, the market comes right in to that area and gives us some good reaction, right? But now look, what should we be doing as the market is dropping to my zone, guys? We talked about this earlier. If the market is dropping to my buy zone, what should I be doing?
Adjusting your lines.
Adjusting my lines. So boom, we have a break of structure here, right? My change of character line would be here at the time. We get another break of structure here. My change of character line would be here at this time. Guys, do we get the change of direction?
We do.
We do. Now look at this. Would you guys consider this a massive breakout rally?
Indubitably
Yes.
so.
Yes. Now check me out. Let's go ahead and pull out the BOSs that Levels has for us. Cause this is when I'm like, bro, honestly, if you're still not seeing progress with Levels, it blows my mind, right? What does this say here, guys? We can see it says BOS. Now I know you can't see this, but what does this say? If you guys can see it,
Head.
what does that say, guys? Says head.
Head.
So now look, what does this say below it? SP. What does the SP stand for?
Starting point.
Starting point. Guys, I don't know about you guys, but my head looks exactly like a starting point in this example. Guys, we should all be seeing progress. We should all be seeing progress if we are using the system the way it should be used. We know this is my BOS, my bearish BOS. We know that this is my bullish change of character, change of direction, whichever you like to use, right? Now, this is my starting point. This is going to be my head. Both of my stop losses, whether you enter at the shoulder or the starting point, they're at the low. This is your setup. Guys, were we correct? Did we get this push? Are we in profit right now? 1 to 1, we should be at break even at minimum. 1 to 2, we are just shy of 1 to 2 taking partials, right? But we're in profit right now. So now look, if I'm looking at this, let's drop to a lower time frame. Let's clean some things up, right? Let's clean some things up. Let's go to the 15-minute. Guys, I'm focused on buys again, remember, because the market has been bullish. What does this say right here? Can you guys see that?
Yeah, it says head.
It says head. Where is my previous BOS? We can see the BOS is right here. BOS to the downside. If that's my break of structure, I would be looking for this to be my change of character. And we get that right here. And what does the system say right here? Change of direction. Guys, the system is literally letting you know. It's letting you know. Now, let's clean this up. Let's turn this off because we already found our setup. Now, on the 15-minute, this is a very faint BOS, but it actually ended up, a very faint change of direction. But the market actually continued to the upside, which helps our cause for sure, right? But if this is my breakout rally, would you guys consider this to be my starting point? Yes, right?
Yeah.
Boom. Now, if that's my starting point, where is my left shoulder? If this is my head, where's my left shoulder, guys?
The BOS.
The very last break of structure before the change of character, which is right here. Now notice how they overlap. My stop loss would be at this dominant low. So, I would be looking for the market to come back down in here. Now, I'm gonna go ahead and clean some things up, right? Because we look at the market just flowing off of these zones, bro. Flowing off of these zones. Clean some things up. Would not mind if the market came here either. Oh, barely missed it. That's barely a miss, bro. I'm gonna clean that up though for visual purposes. Cool. Now in the 15-minute, I know I want the market I want to see if we can get some rejections to the upside. Boom. Now again, guys, and when the market is dropping down to my zone, what should we be doing?
Moving your lines.
Moving my lines so we can get accurate. Right now, let's go ahead and drop down to the 5-minute. Go to the 1. For the structure, I'm really liking this structure up here, just because it's clean, right? Clean liquidity sweep, clean change of character, and after we get this left shoulder, head, and change of direction, we're actually holding this zone a bit. So I would not mind seeing if we can go ahead and possibly take some sales off of there. And again, as the market is coming up to my sell zone, we should be moving our lines so we can be accurate. We don't have to take the first touch, right? We don't have to be in on this sell here. If we can get this confirmation, we can get in on the second sell with more comfortability to send that market down. We never have to be the first one in, guys. We never have to be the first ones in, right? Just so you guys know. Just so you guys know. Let's go back up to the 5. Now this is a starting point on the 5-minute time frame as well. Now I would use the confirmations, guys, with this one, just because I know the market can go higher a little bit, right? I want to use my confirmation. So if the market is coming to my sell zone, I should be looking to move my lines. Notice we have a break of structure here. Break of structure here. My change of character line would be right there. Now, if we continue to break structure, right? Higher high, higher low. If we break structure, move your lines so we can be accurate. Then as soon as the market wants to go ahead and tap into your zone, then you don't have to be the first one in. But if we can go ahead and get this reaction, then we can be the second ones in and trade with more comfort, right? Because again, we're on the 1 minute. You know, we're playing on the 1 minute. So I like to always get some extra confirmation when we are scalping on the 1 minute time frame. Yeah, I hope that makes sense, guys. Hope that makes sense. Let's go ahead and go to the indices. Let's go ahead and go to, I think Michael had some buy or sell opportunity. I like this area as well. I've been waiting for that. I really do not like this structure here. I really do not like that. It looks like a lot of liquidity. And I would like to see if we can go ahead and tap into these zones and continue some downtrend activities. I would not mind one more push to the downside. Not mind. But I literally have the same zone that you have marked up, Michael. I'm waiting for the same thing. Let's go to indices. Let's go to US30. And if we can even go to a daily time frame, guys. I mean, bro. What color is this right here? What color arrow is this?
Red.
Red.
If I see a red arrow, I should match that with the red bulls or the red bears button. So let's go ahead. Boom. Levels is saying we have a possible sell zone right there in that area. So let's go ahead and mark that up. We should still be waiting for this possible sell opportunity. Right? I like that. Now again, indices are pretty volatile, so we never have to be the first one in. We never have to be the first one in, guys. But also notice the structure that we have right here. Right, let's move this out the way a little bit. What do we got right here? BOS to the upside, change of direction. Right, change of direction, which means my left shoulder would be right here in this area as well. So it goes hand in hand with this starting point. My stop loss would be above this wick. Right, but again, I don't have to be the first one in, guys, as the market is coming to my sell zone. And we continue to see break of structure to the upside, mark up the BOSs and your change of character. Mark it up, because if the market wants to go ahead and be toxic and just hit your stop loss and then change direction, okay, it picked your pockets, but now we can go ahead and take some opportunities. This is why I like to test trade indices, and this is honestly why I like to wait for confirmation on indices. I'm a lot more comfortable trading forex pairs like regularly, but with indices, like they're just so toxic and volatile. You know, you never know if you can get wicked out, you know, off the first touch, and the market wants to go your way. But yeah, I like to wait for confirmation. Now, when we go to NAS 100, right? Notice how we're looking for this sell opportunity with NAS. I do see liquidity here, and I just don't like this as well. Like this just looks fairly ugly to me. So, you know, that's money in my opinion, right? Now let's go to NAS. Notice how we're already in that zone. We're already in this area, right? My stop loss would be here, but we're already in that zone. So because we're in that zone, we possibly can get stop loss. Notice how SPX and US30 still have room to go, right? This is their room from here to here. They still have room. US30 from here to here. There's still room to go higher. So if NAS is already there, once US30 and SPX push up to that sell zone, what do you think is going to happen to NAS?
NAS is gonna sweep it.
NAS may just be the one to hit your stop loss and take liquidity. That's why you also, whenever you trade indices, guys, I like to mark up, even though SPX doesn't really get a lot of love from me, I really don't trade SPX as much. I still mark all of them up to give myself a really strong bias, right? A really strong bias. So if I'm looking at this, right, the only thing that I'm really seeing would possibly be here. BOS to the upside, change of direction. Does this wick hit my shoulder? No, it does not. It comes very, very close. Very, very close. My stop loss would be here. So possibly, if SPX and US30, if they end up respecting these zones with that push higher, you know, this would be another opportunity I would be looking at, right? And again, because it's already kind of funky, just wait for confirmations, guys. Wait for confirmations. Like you guys do not have to be the first ones in. Like that's what I want to stress. I can't stress enough. A lot of us play aggressively, and that's okay. You know, if you're gonna play aggressively off the first touch with indices, I personally like to test trade or maybe even throw a mini lot in. You know, play with the indice minis for your test trade. You know, instead of losing, you know, $40, maybe you lose $4. You know, and then once you get that confirmation, boom, you can go ahead and start reacting with the market. You know what I mean? Let's go ahead. I see Paul sent in a chart. GBPUSD. Okay, cool. I'm not sure what you were looking at right here specifically, but obviously it doesn't look like it held up, but the market ended up going your direction. So I like this. I do like the structure that has been given. I do like the way you've been marking it up. This markup is very, very clean, bro. I just want to, you know, extend you your flowers on that. We do have a liquidity sweep to the downside. Now my change of character to that would have to be here. Now notice how we have a nasty breakout rally. Nasty breakout rally. Let's just go to GBPUSD. Let's go to GBPUSD. Let's go to the daily time frame. And this will be the last one. But notice, guys, what color is this right here, guys?
Blue.
Blue. So we should match that blue arrow with the blue bulls button. Levels is saying, yo, we have a starting point right here. Right? Awesome. Now let's go ahead and dissect. Let's move this out the way real quick. Let's go to the 4 hour. Oh, it doesn't give me as much the clarity that I want, but that's okay. Let's actually drop down real quick. and see what the market went to go chase. This isn't as clear as well. Sometimes it's like that, but that's okay. Let's say we were looking to buy here, right? It missed our zone. That's fine. But guys, as the market is dropping down to my buy zone, what should I be doing? As the market is dropping down to my buy zone, what should I be doing, guys?
Moving your lines.
Moving and adjusting my lines. Notice how we have a BOS at the downside. On his chart, let's clear some of these real quick. On his chart, he has the liquidity sweep. So it goes hand in hand. It's correct. But now we have the change of character line. So if this is my very last BOS before my change of character, would that be considered my left shoulder right here? Yes. Yup. We have a left shoulder along with a starting point right here. Guys, we just have to wait and be patient. We're on the daily time frame. I don't know when the market's going to come back, right? But when it does, I already know the type of reaction that I want to see, so we can continue to shift that market forward. Now again, USD JPY, I'm sorry, the US dollar has been fairly bearish. Fairly bearish, right? Which means GBP USD is going to be fairly bullish, right? If the dollar is dropping, let's go ahead. Sometimes I get confused when I do this, but it's all good. US dollar. US dollar. Dropping. US dollar dropping. Let's actually. USD goes down. USD XXX will go down. Does that make sense, guys? The US dollar goes down, USD XXX will go down. If USD goes up, USD XXX will go up. Give me a 2 if this makes sense, guys. The US dollar is dropping, USD XXX will go down. USD JPY, USD CAD, USD CHF, USD MXN, right? If USD goes up, USD XXX will go up. USD CAD, USD CHF, USD JPY, USD MXN, right? Now, let's go ahead and copy this. Oops. If the US dollar goes down, XXX USD will go up. And if USD goes down, XXX USD will go up. I'm sorry, will go down. So if the US dollar is going down, XXX USD will go up. So the dollar right now, guys, is dropping. It's been tanking, right? Let's go ahead. Let's see if this will stay here. Let's move this out the way. The dollar has been dropping, bruh. Tanking. And again, we called these sells. We caught these sells. We called those sells when the market was down here. So we can see that the market is dropping on the US dollar. But now let's go back to EURU or GBPUSD. What's going down with GBPUSD? It's been going higher. Do you guys see the concept? Let's get this out the way. US dollar dropping, right? US dollar is going down. GBPUSD is going up, right? US dollar going down, USD CAD, right? Because USD is in the front, USD CAD is going down as well. So just by implementing these things here can help you with a pretty good bias, right? Can definitely help you with your trading, especially if you guys are looking at the currency, the currency, the US dollar. That can help you a lot. So make sure you guys are using this as well, guys. This helped me a lot, especially when I was just beginning. Now, this isn't like what we should always be depending on because sometimes it does do the opposite. This is why understanding structure is going to be your best bet. But I definitely wanted to let that be known. For sure. For sure. So let's go ahead. We'll end it like this. We'll put this up top. This up top. Man, why does it look ugly right now, bro? It just is what it is. I'm trying to fix it, bro. My goodness. It's because it's, yeah, let's do that. Let's do that. I'm like, come on, dog. I can't even fit this on my screen, big dog. Crazy. Oh, man. Now I'm doing too much. All right. Boom. Any questions before we end the night, guys? Any questions before we end the night?
USD JPY.
I need a chart. That's not a question.
Last one.
Let's see it. Let's see it. I need a chart. What are you looking at? I need a chart. What you looking at? But look at guys. USD, the US dollar going down. USD JPY going down. Right? What you looking at? What you looking at? I'm seeing that the USD JPY is bearish. Okay. On the daily time frame, this is my very last BOS to the downside here. My starting point for that, right here. That's pretty massive, but it looks like it got some respect. 4-hour time frame. I'm gonna go ahead and shrink that up a little bit more. So now we have some room to play with now. Now we have some room to play with. It does look like we have a structure shift, but it's not the cleanest. It's very, very wicky, right? Very, very wicky. This would be something I would do a test trade on. I mean, it does give everything we need to see. BOS to the upside, change of direction, but I'm just not liking like all these wicks up here. I usually just like to see one dominant peak and then drop. So for me, I would test trade this. I'm not going to be the first one in, right? I will be the first one in, just not with a heavy lot. But on a lower time frame, what I'm going to do is mark up my BOSs. And if I can get a rejection and a change of character off of it, I would like to see if we can throw a heavier lot in this area to send that market down. But don't be surprised if we end up going higher one more time, right? We have my very last BOS. This would be it. And then my change of character line would be right here. Don't be surprised if that happens, guys. We wait for this to happen. We can go ahead and enter some more sales. Guys, this stuff takes time. Like, it takes time, so like, don't be too aggressive. I do see what you're seeing if you're looking at that. But there's still some room to go higher. So just keep that in mind, guys. Like I said, I don't mind playing with the idea of taking sales here, but I'm not going to be the one to enter a heavy lot right there. I'm not entering my 1% at that area. Personally for me, especially because I'm seeing liquidity. I'm just seeing a lot of liquidity right here, right? So I know that there's money resting above this line right here. People were continuously looking for sales in this area. Now that for me, it's just like, oh, that's easy pickings, bro. I would love to see if the market can take liquidity, change character, so we can go ahead and take the real opportunity. Does that make sense, guys?
Yes, sir.
Awesome. Yeah, I would love to see that. Would love to see that. So again, guys, as the market is going up to my sell zone, mark up your BOSs and change your character line. Because look, this is a big sell zone. The market can go as high as it wants, bruh. As high as it wants. But as soon as we get that change of direction, boom, it's game time. Let's go ahead and start taking some opportunities and shift that market down. If the dollar is going to drop, I would like to see USD JPY continue to drop. We good? Any questions? Any last charts before we go ahead and end the night? We're good? All right, guys. That's it, my boy. I appreciate y'all. I appreciate you guys, man, for always hopping on. I know we have 28 on the call still, and we went over, so I appreciate you guys. Obviously, you guys want this information. You guys are getting value from levels. You guys are seeing levels work. You guys are seeing that the system that Oren has created is working, and everything is being presented to you right in front of you guys. Make sure you guys are taking notes, man. Make sure you guys are asking the right questions. It's okay, like, bro, if you're that embarrassed or shy, turn your camera off. Don't put a picture on your profile, bro. But ask your questions. I don't want you to be a Zoom user. No ops. Put your name or your initial minimum. But ask your questions, man. Get your questions answered. That way we can go ahead and continue to grow and continue to cut the learning curve. Because that's the thing, guys. If you guys don't ask your questions, how can we cut your learning curve? We don't know what you need help on. But once you answer that question, boom, I know exactly what you need help on. And then I can just go in depth. You guys know how I nerd out, and I just be like, I just continue to talk, just like EURNZD. But when you have questions, you need that. You need that depth, that detailed answer. I know that's what helped me. I'll be honest, bro. Like, I would ask Oren all types of questions, and then he would just go in and give me like the rabbit hole answer. I'm like, bro, thank you. That's exactly what I needed to just gain confidence in myself. So if you need that, guys, take the picture off your profile, keep it with your name, keep it black, and just ask your questions. I don't mind you guys having your cameras off as long as you guys are taking these calls seriously. Because I take this information and I take these calls seriously with you guys. So with that being said, you guys have a great trading week. Trade responsibly. If you guys have any charts you guys want me to get feedback on, tag me, throw them in the chat, so that way we can go ahead and work together, guys. But you guys have a great trading week, man. Peace out.